with this power plant, I would say this is more sport truck than anything. They should introduce a slammed version with all black wheels and a blacked out grille, midnight edition or something like that. Man, I really do. I like this one a lot. Man, it's fun. It's very fun to drive. I've bottomed out here before. Let's see. No, just keep on trucking. Love it, love it, love it. Hyundai, you done good. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the updated 2025 Hyundai Santa Cruz compact urban truck. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why you were wrong to sleep on the compact crossover truck class that includes this and that Ford Maverick. Stay tuned. All right, I can already hear your keyboards typing away. This isn't as good as the Maverick, or what did they change for 2025? And I'm gonna get into all of that here very shortly. But while we're at the front of the vehicle, first let me say thank you to Hyundai for bringing me this just a month after I was able to even share my first drive impressions from my time in California with this. Very, very thankful to get this one so shortly after the media drive for it. And while we're under the hood, let's talk powertrain. This has the engine I wish we could get in a lot more of the Hyundai lineup. It's the 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making some really good power. And in this XRT model, sending it to all four wheels via an 8-speed wet dual clutch automatic transmission, which some will say, yeah, that isn't great for serious off-road duty, but in a light compact pickup crossover like this, you really aren't doing a lot of heavy off-road stuff. Yes, in fact, sadly, I won't even be off-roading this one while I've got it. I know, it's unfortunate, but where I off-road test everything, well, they're closed for a private event while I've got this one. So unfortunately, my only off-road test of this is what I got to do in Los Olivos, California, when I got to drive this for the first time. There are a lot of things that make this new for 2025 and make it good for off-roading compared to non-XRT models. But let's start with the updated style for 2025. This vehicle, the Santa Cruz, is on a shared platform with the Tucson. The Tucson is designed, and mostly all models are assembled in Korea from the Korean design team and at Korean plants. This, the Santa Cruz pickup truck, took the Tucson design and built upon it, and they're very proud that this was designed in California. We'll talk more about that as we go around it, but it does have a more distinct, more upright, more squared off front appearance than the Tucson on which this is based. No longer are you confused when looking at the front, trying to figure out if it's a Tucson or a Santa Cruz. This one is clearly a Santa Cruz. Again, a more squared off grille. All the elements in the grille, including those DRLs, they're all rectangular in nature, whereas we have like octagonal designs in the new Tucson. Headlights have changed a little bit. The LED turn signals are like arrows pointing inwards. The XRT model actually gets these red tow hooks, orangey red tow hooks up front, which I really like, and it sets it apart. And then I joked about this being the most XRT of the XRT. Look, we actually have a front-facing camera. This is the only XRT model from Hyundai that has full 360 cameras, and I think at least a front-facing camera is needed across the board, because even going up my 13-degree incline driveway, that front-facing camera really does come in handy. Revised front clip, the XRT gets a little bit different front design than other models, but still a very nice look. I like all this kind of dark chrome accents that we get all the way across the front. As we pull around to the side, the wheels and tires, these get different tires, but the same wheel design as the XRT Tucson. I really like these TerrainContact tires from Continental. These are 245/60 R18s. They are definitely more aggressive than the tires on the Tucson XRT, but wrapped around the same 18-inch wheel design as the Tucson. We get a lot of little Easter eggs, including this one right here over the wheels. We see that silhouette a lot on this vehicle. I'll do my best to point them all out to you, but as we pull around to the side of the vehicle here, you can see very much not a Tucson. It does share some body components and panels, but once you get behind that B-pillar, that is all Santa Cruz, baby. Very unique to this pickup truck. You can see we get the sail panel back here, but all connected bed and body side on this one. Unlike the second generation of the Ridgeline that has tried to separate the bed from the rest of the pickup truck. Here you can see we have another silhouette. We get another silhouette on both sides of the bed rails here, and we get another one on the back bumper right here. But before we pull around too far to the back, I said this was designed proudly in California, which is stated right here in the taillights. As we come around to the back end is uniquely Santa Cruz as well, as opposed to the Tucson, on which this shares a lot of components, but obviously with a pickup bed versus an SUV, you can't share too much. I like how the taillights are actually moved up. The Tucson's turn signals are down low in the bumper. That's never been something I really like, especially living here in Texas, where we see a lot of full-size and lifted trucks. Just putting the taillights in a better place, which we have here on the Santa Cruz, works so much better. You can see we have a multi-level rear bumper here. We got a lot more of that dark chrome, but we do get a bumper step here, though no indented grab handle here, but you can get up, climb up, and get to the bed if you need to tailgate up or tailgate down. Dropping that tailgate, you can see it is damped, and even though we do have this retractable cover, you can see, yeah, it's still got pretty dirty back here. So I don't know if this came from somebody driving around prior to me with the cover open, but yeah, still kind of dirty back here, but that's okay, because if you want some stuff hidden that does not get dirty, this is a weathered sealed in-bed trunk. And I left our pumpkins from our last pumpkin patch hunting expedition in here, just so you can see a little bit of how deep this is and how functional this is. There is a drain plug in here, so you can fill it with ice if you wanted to. But you can also see here, it is weather stripped. So you don't have to worry about stuff getting wet in here. You can probably keep a backpack as long as it isn't too bulky back here in the in-bed trunk, which I really like. Otherwise, you get a lot of tie downs, which are useful, both movable and fixed in place all the way around this vehicle. So that is very nice. You get LED lighting back here with a button that turns it all on back in the back, so I really like that a whole lot. We have this hidden storage compartment right here, so you can store a little bit more stuff back in the back. We've got another one over there, and because I opened the trunk, I really got to reach for this, but they do give you a strap so that you can pull that close and you don't have to go chasing it down every single time. I really like that a lot. Very easy to close the bed too, very light. Like I said, it is a damped tailgate. Before we climb in this one, I do want to show you the key. Typical Hyundai key, it's their new style. It does mimic their Hyundai H logo. It's not my favorite. I like what this replaced a whole lot better, because it's just a little bit too bulky for what it is, but it's got all the necessary buttons on there: lock, unlock, remote start, panic button, and you can drop that tailgate from here as well. You don't need it though. You can keep it, your pocket, your purse, wherever, because it is a passive entry system. You just touch on the back of the door handle with it in your pocket, your purse, wherever, and it unlocks. You can lock it by pressing that right there. It'll unlock. But I will note that is only on the front doors, not on the back door. So if you've got to load up kids, you're going to be going to that front door first. As we come inside here, this XRT model is one of the higher trims, and this again is one of the more nicely equipped XRT models, but we don't get memory seats on this XRT. We do get some cloth materials in here. We get some shiny black plastic that I don't love, but you can see we've got our mirror controls, our window controls, all that. A little bit of storage down here, multi-way positional seat. You can see it is a power seat, two-way lumbar. They're heated but not ventilated. They are the synthetic leather seats, and you can see we have XRT embossed in them. They are very comfortable. They are of the same design as what you would find in the Tucson. We'll go ahead and climb in, put my foot on the brake, push the button right here, fire up that 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, and you can see the real big update now. Two 12.3 inch screens on a kind of curved display here. It is a very nice look. You very much notice that this is much larger than the 10.25 inch screen that it replaces. Also has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, something that Hyundai is finally starting to roll out in more of their vehicles. Fully digital display here with tach and speedometer. And you can see, because we have 360 cameras, we have our blind spot cameras when we put our blinkers on that appear there, and the gauge cluster as well. No head-up display, but that's okay because I do believe this is very easy to read at a quick glance. Typical Hyundai steering wheel, all your typical controls here, your adaptive cruise, your volume, all that stuff, even your lane centering. You've got brightness control here, your bed light back here, traction control, and a tow mode button right here. You've got an air vent kind of tucked away behind the steering wheel here. You do have a manual tilt and telescoping adjustable steering wheel. And then coming across here, I like the addition of physical controls, physical buttons for the climate, for the volume and tuning. That is something they very much improved upon over the 24 and prior models. This is a much better interior than 24 and prior year models. I like just being able to quickly turn this dial or quickly turn this dial to change exactly what I want, whether it be the temperature or volume. Can see we do have dual zone climate. These are all still haptic touch areas, but that's okay. We still get physical buttons here, and it all works fairly nicely. Coming down here, we do have a Qi wireless charger, a little bit of rubberized storage right here, two USB-C ports, and you can see you can toggle between USB and power or just power for this USB slot. So you can have wired Apple CarPlay if you wanted to, but you can also do wireless. This right here is only for battery, and then you get a tri-light indicator here for your Qi wireless charger, and additional power hidden back there. You get that 8-speed dual clutch automatic with a mechanical actuator here. Really like that. To put it in reverse, you can see we've got very good, very crisp 360 cameras in this. I will go ahead and show you. I really like what Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis do, how snappy this is, the processing power that has to go into being able to pan around a digitized version of the vehicle like this is very nice. Down here we've got all-wheel drive lock, downhill descent control, a quick access button for our cameras, auto hold and parking, electronic parking brake, and your different drive modes. You can see we've got normal, sport, smart, and snow. That changes things like throttle response and the like. Two cup holders here surrounded in a lot of gloss black plastic. Very good sized dual sectioned center storage here. You can see this does pull out and remove. There, you can leave that in. You can put it up here, which is where it really goes. So lots of functionality here in the center console. We get a very good sized glove box as well. It is damped but not lined with felt. My backpack's in the way. My apologies there. And then you get the addition of this shelf for some additional storage. It is rubberized. It does have 3 different sections. I like it a lot. It came in handy when we were out filming our family review earlier today. Really like the added benefit that just a little bit of extra storage gives you. Got an auto dimming rear mirror here. There's no buttons or controls on here, but that is nice. You've got your reading lights up here. No sunroof in this version. You can see I've got tons of headroom in here. Very comfortable, very spacious up front. I just wish that there were memory seats As we come to the back seat, this really does rival some mid-size pickup trucks. Remember, this is, I guess, technically a compact truck, more than a mid-size. So it doesn't really compete with the Ridgeline. It competes more with the Maverick. But you can see climbing in, I've got decent headroom back here. Sitting behind myself at 5'10", it's a little on the tight side, but the seat back itself is very comfortable. I don't feel like I'm sitting straight upright or anything. It is a comfortable back seat. Don't get me wrong on that. We do have amenities like a fold-down armrest with 2 cup holders in it, though we also get cup holders in both doors. Again, surrounded by black plastic. Not my favorite. Get a mat pocket on the back of the passenger seat, but not the driver's seat. Get a couple air vents, which is a very nice touch. A couple USB-C ports, which is a very nice touch. And then something I'm gonna have to climb out to show you, because I've already removed my son's child safety seat, but you can flip the seats up here and get some additional storage. So not only do we have the in-bed trunk in this, but you've got some hidden storage underneath the 60-40 split folding seat bottoms back here in the back. You can see though the passenger side where we keep Tucker's child safety seat is really where the jack stays, and you can see it's got foam, so it's not going to rattle around in here too much on you, but you still get some decent underfloor storage in this, or under seat storage behind the rear seats, which I like a whole lot. And I just wish these were split 60-40 the other way, the 40% over there on the passenger side, but makes for some good additional storage here in the back of the 2025 Hyundai Santa Cruz. Hopping inside the Santa Cruz, you instantly know exactly why you would buy this over a Maverick. This is where you're spending all your time, and I would 100% pick this interior over that very cheap plasticky feeling Ford any day of the week when it comes to the interior of it alone. The materials in here, while yes, they are a little chintzy, they are nicer. Far nicer than any of the materials found inside the Ford Maverick. The new screens are nice. Ford has upped their interior game, but I haven't gotten to check out a new 25 Maverick as of yet. But this still has far more interior niceties than that Maverick does. Add on top of that, this has more power. 281 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. Put this thing in sport mode, and we'll see how it performs. All right, here we go. Yep, the powertrain in this also superior to the Ford Maverick. Be sure you get the higher 2.5T version of this engine that does come here in the XRT and in the Limited, the higher trims. This powertrain needs to be in more Hyundai products. I really, really like it. It is very strong, very potent, and with this 8-speed dual clutch, does a great job of making you forget that there's a transmission at all, except for at low speeds. Low speeds, this dual clutch still kind of struggles a little bit. Holly notes it in our family review, so I'll let her give a full take on it. But I will say, yeah, low speed stuff like trying to crawl, trying to get this thing just off in motion in the first place is a little tricky, but when you are just driving this thing around, far superior powertrain to that Ford Maverick. The overall driving nature and characteristic of this, whether you're in normal or in sport, I guess, yes, I can put it back in normal, but the driving characteristic of this is very comfortable, very car-like. I have been very pleased with my time in this, living with it for a week, though Holly has definitely gotten more wheel time than I have with this particular vehicle on this particular test, of which I am a little bit jealous. It is very easy to pilot and maneuver around town. The steering is light, the ride is good and soft without being squishy, floaty. It's just a very comfortable vehicle all the way around. I have been very pleased, very impressed with the driving nature and characteristic of this vehicle. It just suits my driving style so well. It's easy to park, and at $41,600 some odd dollars. It's kind of a bargain in the midsize pickup truck segment when you really set it against longtime stalwarts like Toyota Tacoma and Nissan Frontier, or newcomers like Chevy Colorado and Ford Ranger, who have made their way back from a hiatus here in the States. This is a compelling package. It's giving you the benefits of a truck bed back in the back for you to throw all the dirty stuff that you may not want in your vehicle with you, with all the benefits and pluses of a modern crossover. It is very comfortable, very easy to drive and maneuver. You can see a little sluggish to get going, but then when it does, we've got plenty of power to move. This is a very quick vehicle. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with this one. In fact, I actually had to modulate my throttle because it's very easy to find yourself going a little too fast in this one. I am biased. I will go ahead and say it. I do really like the Maverick. The last Maverick we had was the Trimmer. The Trimmer was far more fun off-road than this can be due to its dynamics and some of the wizardry that Ford does with the off-road settings in their computer system. But for a daily drivable, off-road capable pickup utility vehicle for urban life, this is hands down an absolute winner. I don't know why this isn't selling at the same clip as the Ford Maverick. I know the Maverick's got the boxier styling that everyone likes, but this really does check a lot of boxes for me. I've heard from a lot of my friends and peers, anecdotally speaking, that they feel like this is a little more of a mullet of a truck or of a vehicle in general, all business in the front, party in the back. And perhaps that is why this isn't selling quite as much as we hear stories of the Ford Maverick. But I will say, after spending time in California with some of the engineers on this vehicle, it's selling quite well. Keep in mind, this is built here stateside and has to share production facilities with other vehicles. And so juggling that production output really does have certain limitations on this model. Though I can say, after finally getting to live with one, after these have been on the market for many years, I can say I am very pleased with how this drives and operates in my daily life. It suits us very well. I do appreciate the fact that this XRT model does get 360 cameras, does find itself a little bit higher up market than, say, a larger Santa Fe crossover XRT with its non-digital gauges and no 360 cameras. But that is about it for my time here with this one. Needless to say, I really like it. I think you should at least cross-shop this against a Ford Maverick. Chances are you'll be able to find one of these before Maverick anyway. If you want to see more from us, including that family review where Holly's behind the wheel that I've referenced a couple of times, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop from us. You can find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com, where you will find links to everything, including our podcast, where we talk to people from all across the automotive industry. But as for me, finally getting to spend a week with the Hyundai Santa Cruz now that it's gotten its 2025 facelift. Until next time, gearheads, bye. Did I mention that the best thing that this has over most midsize pickup trucks is just how easily it fits in our two single bay door garage? It parks in very nicely, fits better than most pickup trucks. So it really is a great urbanite pickup.